Warren Buffett just bought $28 billion of this particular stock. Can you guess which one? Do you think you'll be surprised? Or is everyone simply buying the same companies and making the same choices? Are we all headed in the same direction? Let's find out. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to find out exactly what Warren Buffett has just purchased. Let's begin with this. Every company has their 13F with the SEC. That's the public holdings, so you get to see what they're buying, what they're selling. All you have to do is go to a search engine and type in 13F, 13F, put a space, and then the name of the person or company that you're interested in. This information is directly from the SEC's website. It is official, and I believe it's done quarterly. So these numbers are from the last day of 2017. What you will find out here is that it's a great resource. It is official, but it's very hard to read. So there are a couple websites out there, I've shown you these before, that are very good for this particular purpose. They organize everything. They make it nice and easy. They show you the top holdings, what's being sold, what's being bought, organize it nicely. One of those is holdingschannel.com. Holdingschannel.com is a great resource because it's making it easy for us to see that information. You can see here, quite frankly, Apple at the top of the list, $28 billion worth. And that is, imagine, just in one quarter, buying $28 billion of this particular stock. Now, Berkshire is obviously a massive company, but still, when they're buying $28 billion worth in a short period of time, do you think that they are somehow supporting the price of the stock? Well, of course. And that's what happens. All of the central banks are acting. Then all of the big corporations, the investment companies and everything else go in after it, chasing that. And then you have the mutual funds and the lower ends on the totem pole there. They do their thing following along. And then the average investor gets it at the very end. That's the way it works. So they have increased their position dramatically. I mean, when you think about it, yes, Apple's a massive company, but still, $28 billion added onto their stock is a very nice boost, to say the least. So once again, Apple gets a boost, if not from the Bank of Norway, if not for the Swiss National Bank, the central banks around the world, they're getting it now from Berkshire Hathaway. Thank you very much, Warren Buffett. Congratulations. Now, Wells Fargo, recipient of a nice bailout. You can see here, Warren Buffett sold off a big chunk of Wells Fargo. That actually surprises me a little bit, but some are saying, that this was a bad decision. I don't really know, but ultimately what we are noticing here is that there is big changes that have taken place in the last quarter. All right, General Motors, you can see at the bottom of the page there, selling off big time. There was another one that I wanted to show you here, and it's right at the bottom. That is IBM. They sold off a very large percentage of their portfolio of IBM. Now, what do they have in store here? We'll have to see as time goes on what exactly the situation is, but when you're looking at, getting rid of most of the portfolio, they basically have no faith left in this company. So that's something very interesting. Keep your eyes on IBM and what happens with them over the next little while. It's something that, to say the least. Teva is another one that's been making news. They had a massive position being purchased here as well. So that's Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett's just one, Berkshire Hathaway, more specifically. What about everybody's favorite, George Soros? You could see this again for yourself if you're interested. This is, somebody did a nice chart here, basically outlining everything. But one of those is overstock.com, And I found it to be interesting. Halliburton as well. So basically going from, this is, in the last quarter, going from nothing to having quite a significant share here. So that's something to note. I'll show you this. This is another one of the websites that is very important to check out, Whale Wisdom. So Whale Wisdom, similar to Holdings Channel here. You can see their top buys, top sells, and their summary of what they have. They also have this nice graph here, which is can be a little messy, but it's interesting to see anyway. Their top buys, top sells, overstock, again, big position here. And when you think about it, how much a company like Soros, by the way, it's not that big in the grand scheme of things, but it's still $4 billion. They're buying huge chunks, so that pushes these prices higher. So I guess I'll leave you with this comment. I always get people asking me, should I follow what the big guys are doing? Should I see what the Swiss National Bank is doing, copy what they do, emulate it, and then be able to profit off of their schemes? Because ultimately we know that it's destructive, but hey, if we just follow them, we're going to make money. That's the question. And I do believe in the shorter term, medium term, that has been an excellent way to do things. Quite frankly, it's so, silly in a way that this is what investing comes down to. No fundamentals anymore. It's simply a matter of fact that we should be just chasing what the big boys are doing, copy them, look at these websites, and ultimately it works. It works in a bull market. Okay, I'll say that. Where it doesn't work is in a bear market. George Soros, Warren Buffett, all the big boys, the central banks, they're not just going to start selling shares and we're going to watch the equity market fall. Okay? They may hold on to all of those shares. We're talking about corporations or entities that are billions and billions of dollars in here. They buy them, they hold them, and then they're able to buy more at the bottom. They don't necessarily ever need to sell. You as an individual, the average investor, you might get scared. You see your portfolio dropping by 50%. A lot of people might say, hey, I got half of what I came in with. I'm just going to sell right now. A lot of people would do that. That's what happens every time. If you don't think so, look back in every single case. But a big corporation may not need to do that. They might sell some of their position, obviously, but they may not sell most of it. If they believe that that company is going to be around and growing later on, they may not liquidate it all. They may liquidate 10% of it, let's say. There's all an agreement that's going on behind the scenes. That's what people don't realize. You don't think that Warren Buffett is sitting down with central bankers and commercial bankers and deciding, okay, well, I think the best thing to do is around this time frame here after this, meeting or whatever, Davos or Bilderberg, we'll decide, let's just, cool it on the money printing. Okay, as a result, we're probably going to see some of the equity selling off. So I'll sell off a little bit of my position. Okay, and then you can increase interest rates and so on. Now, do I know that as a fact? No, but what I know is history, and they do it every single time. Every single time. So ultimately, I can have a good gauge as to what's going to happen this time around. Take a look at it. Don't believe me, ever. Don't trust me, ever. Look into it for yourself. Use resources like Holdings Channel, like Whale Wisdom. Go in and see the 13Fs of these companies and see what they did previously. I assure you they add to their positions at the bottom. That's what they do. How do they know it's the bottom? Because they are told. They decide what the bottom will be. They're all on one team. When a guy like Warren Buffett gets approached, will you buy $5 billion worth of Bank of America? Sure, why not? That's the way it works. Instead of nationalizing Bank of America, they gave Warren Buffett the insider deals, the sweetheart deals, and he profited big time. You don't get those deals. He got preferred pricing. So is it worth it to buy Bank of America at the price that, anybody off the street? Maybe you would have profited, but the ultimate end solution here is that these guys are in a totally different world than you and I. You can try chasing them and it works on the way up, but it does not work on the way down. I'll leave it there. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. You can actually flip through these books. If you go over to Amazon, there's a look inside feature. It's going to allow you to flip through the pages of these books to see if you like them. Take care.